that swept off the channel this morning has thankfully either abated or it's gone to soak somebody else further up country, and we've actually got some bright sunshine here at Priory Lane for this National South game between the hosts Eastbourne Borough and the visitors Welling United. Let's hope for a good one. So I'm Kevin Anderson and I'll be taking you through the 90 minutes. Let's hope that our stream, free to air, you'll notice, we hope that we'll get through our afternoon without too many hitches, but you'll appreciate that all of us are still doing a little bit of learning as we go along. We know that plenty of people will be tuning in. We hope lots and lots of you, including plenty of people from the wings, and I'll try and give you a fair shout during the afternoon. You'll forgive me that I'm learning as I go with some of your new names, because it's not the most familiar of Welling United lineups. Lots of clubs tend to come year after year and you recognise about 9 of the 11 straight away. Not quite the same at the moment. I noticed that there was one game that Wings started, I think when they opened the season at Maidstone United. They had 9 players making their debuts. Well, let's hope for the sake of Brad Quinton's side that they've started to knit in that little bit better this afternoon. Welling not making a terribly good start to the season, got a point in that extraordinary game a fortnight ago at Slough Town, but other than that they're still looking for their first win. Eastbourne Borough on the other hand have had a really very strong start. The only side to beat them so far are Dorking Wanderers, and they've won 6 out of 7 competitive games, or is it 7 out of 8? Anyway, they've lost only the one, and they're going reasonably strong. I think they're still getting the measure of the division, and there are no ridiculously high ambitions among Eastbourne Borough. But the other factor, of course, is that in a week and a day they will be playing here against Blackpool in the FA Cup, and that will be not preying on minds, but in people's minds, I'm sure, this afternoon. It's the Blues of Welling United to kick off. They'll be playing into the wind. It's coming more or less from left to right as we watch, and that may have quite a bearing on which end most of the action is at. If you just take a glance on camera, you'll probably see 1 or 2 flags, the linehouse flags and the corner flags, actually bending somewhat in the wind. We're all ready for the action. Ajibola kicks us off. I will run through the 2 11s as we go, but we'll watch the action first, shall we? Across comes Steve James, there finds Greg Lure, and it's played forward down that channel, and instantly you may see how the wind is rolling that ball extra fast, and the Borough are quite used to it, in fairness, but it does take a lot of adjusting to, even for players who are going to run out of play. Yes, 2 new signings. They're both loan signings from Huddersfield Town. In the 19 shirt, Mustafa Olagunju, who actually is a Kent lad, and so he's back nearer his home patch. He's a defender, a big fella there at the back, the biggest of them indeed at centre back. And the other newcomer is Jaheim Headley, who I understand is a midfield player. He also is in from Huddersfield Town, and he's a London boy. Southwark to be precise, so he's the right side of the river for you wings. This is not quite a local derby, but we're only under 50 miles apart, and by Eastbourne standards that's only short. Most of our away trips are a little bit further than that. Little triangles played. Vaughan effort to go down the line is blocked by Stefan Ilic, one of the scorers at Slough Town in that ridiculous game that finished 4-4 after the Wings had been 4-1 up. I'm not rubbing that in, by the way, boys. It's just an incredible sequence of events, wasn't it? And to score 4 at Slough Town actually takes some doing. Not many people do that, so credit to you for it. Lewis Hobbs tries to knock it forward, gets to the halfway line at least. A little bit of a wiggle from Ainsworth. Nathan Green pumps it up forward. It's a red head first, but now it's picked up by Olangunji into the edge of the area, and a chance, and an important clearance away there by Steve James from right underneath the forward's foot. And the Blues could well have taken I won't say a shot lead, but a very early lead. 3 minutes played, no goals. Cox, forward it goes. A little bit of a bump, looked a bit shoulder to shoulder to me, but it's given for a foul on Charlie Kendall. Kendall is in from Queen's Park Rangers. He's just had his loan extended after a pretty successful month. He's come off the bench most of the time as young Charlie Kendall and had a 15 or 20 minutes worth, but he played the full game at Hampton on Tuesday night and did really very well. Bit of a lone striker. Again, that ball, just one bounce, skids on through, and it's a goal kick to the visitors. Kendall's teammate from Queen's Park Rangers is out there as well, Kai Innocent. Kai has actually started, I think I'm right in saying, every game since the start of his loan, and he's looked pretty impressive. He's a very sort of modern fullback with a lot of pace and likes to get forward and a few tricks. Out goes that one on the halfway for a red throw. That is long. Headed forward, and it can be pumped forward by Green, but it swings out of play. So that one hint of a chance early on from Rowan Liebird is all the action that matters in these first few minutes. Another long throw from Vaughan. Out again. Win it by the yard like they do in the rugby. Ferry. Gave Vaughan a lot to do there. Across the back it goes. Here's Mitch Dickinson. Out to that man Kai Innocent, 20-year-old from West London. Sports thought that was out, but it wasn't. A little bit of a wait there, just a slight hesitation, and they really can't do that. They've let Rowan Liebird in once already. Kendall knocks it off. Walker tries to knock it wide, but doesn't find Cox. Cox picks it up the second go. A little bit tight, they need to open it, and Hammond does so, spinning it all the way from the far side to the near, into the feet of Walker, very hard, and Vaughan has gone on ahead. It's actually found, and an offside is given actually against Kendall. He came back there, correct decision. Other than that, it was a promising little move, and good work by Kendall, if he could only have stayed onside. Cook from the back. Hangs a little bit, header down. Can't find a blue shirt, and that one's gone too long. Ladies and gentlemen, we're only a few minutes in, but I'm going to make my prediction. This one isn't going to be a classic. After that, it'll probably be a 4-4. But the conditions aren't quite right, and certainly at the moment, the rhythm isn't there, and that may have something to do with that skiddy pitch and the strong wind. Headed forward. Good battling by James Ferry. Nathan Green with a throw. Illich knocked out. Same again from Green, up the line. Lewis under it first. And then out wide to Innocent. Into Charlie. Walker knocks it to Cox. Cox with a cross. Oh, they're asking for a handball, but Ajajibola had a far better view than anybody asking for it from the back of the stand. Walker has a little dialogue with Aj, but there was no way he was going to give a penalty for that. Instead of that, Borough make do with a corner, the first of the hour. Nearly 9 minutes played, no goals. And a rather pretty blue scudding sky with the grey and the white clouds, if you get bored with the football and if our camera angle allows. Here's the corner, an in-swinger from Innocent. Headed out, edge of the area, Hammond shapes, heads it, Ferry. Doesn't quite reach it, there's a shot, and it's popped in. Goal is given. Greg Lure from short range. It was just popped back across the 6-yard line. Lure himself glanced sideways to make sure that there hadn't been an offside flag up. It's all too easy, and Welling United have paid the penalty of really not getting that ball clear. And it's Eastbourne Borough who strike first. 1-0 through Greg Lure. 10th minute. Well, Kai Innocent makes a bit of a speciality of those corners. He strikes them well and swings them in. I thought he hadn't quite got enough on that, but the clearance wasn't good enough. Hammond recycled it, and before you knew what, there was Lure to pop it in. So, well, Welling know that they're against the wind. They're against a 1-0 deficit as well now. What can they do to respond? Kendall just slips, or he might have been on the chase. Instead, it's knocked back by Olagunju. Yet again it hangs. Hammond is first. It's hooked forward, and Aj just waits a moment looking for the advantage and then gives a free kick. Yeah, it's just a bit of a backing in. Blocked, and out it comes. Good running by Vaughan. Nice little triangle. In it goes. Just skids too far for everybody. Excellent cross in its way.